David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. Well, oh my gosh. It is summertime and the living is easy. And, well, like Johnny Depp says, where's all the rum gone? Where has all the rum gone? Well, it's gone into this amazing drink. This is obviously the Mount Gay rum and soda that Bond drinks in Casino Royale. It is my choice. Oh, good Lord, that's good and refreshing. For this Bond vlog. You see, we're not going to be doing fashion today. We're not in some faraway country. No, we're right here in our backyard where most of you spend your time, and we're talking about summer reading. I don't know about you, but I love picking up a book, a real physical book during the summer, going out on the back deck, or maybe you are going on some Bahamas or Jamaican vacation, and you want to take something with you. Well, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to focus on a few choices you have that aren't just James Bond related books. No, there's something more. These are books that were written by people in our James Bond community. We talk about the James Bond community all the time. Why does that make me want to drink? I don't know. And we love the community. It's foibles, it's issues, it's drama, but obviously for all the great stuff, and that's all of this, right? The communication. Well, we have some fans that have written some books. They're fans, but they're authors. I mean, they really are. And we want to talk about some of those today. So the first one we're going to be talking about, and I almost feel like I'm contractually obligated to talk about this one, but you know it. Actually, it's actually one of my best friends. Being James Bond's Volume 1 by Joe Darlington. And I love the back cover here. It says, Joe Darlington is James Bond. ... Well, he wishes he was. And that's the whole thing about this book. Joe takes the mickey out of himself. He talks about different aspects of being James Bond, not just wearing the clothes or drinking the drinks, but actually bungee jumping and playing poker and horseback riding and all the things that James Bond is capable of doing. And what I love about this book, a couple things. First of all, it's relatively small. Like, I can throw it in a bag, I can throw it in luggage, I can put it on the back deck and leave it out here in the rain. No, you can't do that. Don't be mean. But you can take this anywhere. It's not a major commitment and obligation. And by the way, it's 215 pages long. It's not a major obligation for commitment. You can get through it in a couple days. But this is basically taking his blog and vlog and translating it into a book form that has inspired us for years to live the Bond lifestyle. So it is a handbook, it's a how-to, but it's also one of these things that, getting a bird's eye view from a community member that lives the Bond lifestyle is always super helpful. And Joe does that in this book. By the way, we'll provide links below on where to get these great summer reads. So I love this particular one. It's one that I actually pick up from time to time. By the way, this was a good segue, because this next book I want to talk about is The Complete Guide to the Drinks of James Bond, 2nd edition, which now includes Scofield by David Lee. Now, David Lee, you may know David Lee from the James Bond Dossier. It's a blog that's been around for a long time, has a huge following, huge database. David is, I think I can accurately call him a James Bond aficionado guru. He knows so much about literary Bond, about movie Bond. What is incredible about this book is he knows a lot about the drinks of James Bond. Now, one of these things is, it says it on the back cover, David Lee is a lifelong fan of James Bond, having been introduced to 007 in the early 1970s. When he borrowed his father's paperback copy of Casino Royale, he still plans on returning it one day. No, he doesn't. David, I know you won't. But this is cool. Check out the size of this. When I got this in, I was so happy because it reminded me of my youth when I had literally paperbacks, pocket books. This is something you could fit into your back pocket or your safari shirt. What? Your blue onesie pocket. Oh, look what I did there. And it is something that travels well. But here's why I really love this book. Love this book. I thought what I was getting in was a Bond drink book. And there's been some good ones, but I thought I was getting in a recipe book. What I wound up actually getting in was a full history of the James Bond drinks. David goes into not only where in the movies and the literary Bond these drinks are used, but the history of the alcohol themselves. How was, cognac developed? What about vodka? What are the regions? What about wine? Everything and anything, including, and I love this part, how difficult it is to find some of the correct ingredients. Like if you want to make a Vesper, Lillet is so hard, but how do you make it? How do you create something similar to that? So what I didn't expect was I was going to get an incredibly educational and informative history lesson, and I got that. And I told him that. I said, David, I hope that the people thinking about getting this book understand that this is so much more than a tome of recipes. It does have that, by the way. You can make some really creative things. But if you want an education, and it's not a major commitment. Again, this is 160 pages. But if you want to get an education of the alcohol and the drinks and how they came to be, and if I keel over during this, it's because it's a very strong rum. I put a lot of rum in there. This is the book for you. I love this book. And again, link below where you can grab it from him. And he's a fan. You can hear him on the James Bond and Friends podcast. This guy is a part of the community, which is why this comes across as so passionate. This next one, you probably saw an interview with the author, Mark O'Connell. Mark O'Connell, funny, genuine, authentic guy. He wrote a book, Catching Bullets, Memoirs of a Bond Fan. Prelude by Barbara Broccoli. Not too shabby, Mark. But this is it right here. This is the book. And you heard me talk about it in the interview with Mark. If you haven't seen that interview, go check out the interview. But after this. What I love about this is, and here's the back cover, when Jimmy O'Connell took a job as a chauffeur for 007 producers, Eon Productions, it would not just be Cubby Broccoli. Roger Moore and Sean Connery he would drive to James Bond. His grandson, Mark, swiftly hitched a metaphorical ride too. In Catching Bullets, Memoirs of a Bond Fan, Mark O'Connell takes us on a humorous journey of filmic, love that word, filmic discovery where Bond films fire like bullets at a Thatcher-era childhood, closeted adolescent, and adult life as a comedy writer still inspired by that Broccoli movie magic. So cool. I love this book, and I'll tell you why, and I told this to Mark. This is that song, that goes, strumming my face, strumming my name with his finger, da-da-da. You know that song. I'm not going to sing it because this will go viral for different reasons. But this book captured so much of my own childhood with Star Wars and James Bond and capturing those moments. He takes you through the movies, but he doesn't take you through it from a filmography standpoint or character or plot synopsis. He does that a little bit, but it's really about that experience of connecting and seeing the films. And he dives deeply into this. His language is so poetic. He's funny. He's creative. This is why you want to pick up this book. And again, it is 371 pages. He's got his own personality wrapped in here, but you're going to find yourself pulled in a big way. So get Catching Bullets. You're going to love it. And again, link below. Okay, this is pretty cool. And I got to bring this little envelope out here. This is Tyler Flynn, Where the Wolf Lies. And you're like, David, was this a James Bond novel? It's not. But let me tell you what this is. Let me pull it out. Check this out. David, I trust this note finds you well. Encloses a copy of my debut novel that I genuinely owe you a bit of credit for. Who are me? I've long been a follower of the Bond experience and have always been inspired by your passion for Bond and the stories we've all come to love. So taking your cue, I've channeled my love for Fleming's Bond by writing. While my character isn't a swashbuckling spy, there are plenty of Bond moments and locales, many of which I learned from you in the book. I offer the book to you with zero expectations other than I think you may truly enjoy it. After all, us Bond fans try to live like Bond every day, and we'll take it any way we can get it. I've also included a useful bookmark. This is a fantastic read. I have gone through this. It is an incredibly good, riveting spy novel connection model. It's got intrigue, mystery. It's got adventure, excitement, experiences, and immersive moments. But I love that Tyler is a Bond fan. He's been following the Bond experience, and he felt enough to pen this book. So check this out. Again, link below. My hat's off to you, Tyler. And if we inspired you in some way, we are incredibly happy. So, my last book on this James Bond community summer-inspired reading is not on the table because I need a little bit of a forklift to pick it up. Oh, okay. This is not something you can put in your pocket. Look at the thickness. Look at the size and the weight and the heft. This is Some Kind of Hero. Some Kind of Hero is a book. It's the remarkable story of the James Bond films by Matthew Field and A.J. Chowdhury. Now, A.J., good friend of ours, he is... The only way to describe AJ adequately is to say he is a classic. He knows the Bond world. He knows the Bond people. He's a spokesperson for 007. He knows his stuff, but he's also one of the kindest, nicest, most giving gentlemen of his time. And they wrote this book that really goes over a biography of the making of the James Bond films. It draws on hundreds of interviews and discussions, and look at this. And by the way, this isn't even the latest one. I gotta get myself the latest one, but it has even more stories leading up through Spectre. So it takes each movie and it goes behind the scenes. So it's not just a synopsis, it's what are the mystery and what are the things that have happened within the movie. Excuse me. Did I mention it's 90 degrees out on this back deck? We're fine. We're fine. But it's one of these things that the producers, once you are James Bond for life. As Pierce Brosnan said, more men have walked on the moon, so I think it's a pretty unique club, and I think they're all pretty proud to have served in that club. Love, James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli. So this is something where if you wanted every piece of remarkable information, AJ and Matthew have put this together. By the way, forward by George Lazenby, not too shabby, celebrating the 50th on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So there's a lot of pulls and reasons to get this book. Is it something you're going to throw in your back pocket? No. But leaving it out, connecting with it, it's something that you may not read overnight, but you can see that I've got a lot of dog ears and places here that I've gone back to. It is an incredible... basically an entire reservoir of James Bond information, the likes which I have not seen. So I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So we now have a stack of wonderful summer reading that we can all connect to. Listen, the summertime's not just for pools or traveling, bikinis, weaponry, horses, you name it. It is for incredible drinks and incredible reads. When you can tie those together, you have one hell of a Bond experience. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you dive into some of these books. We'll probably have more, but for now, these are my picks, all from the Bond community, which I love. This has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.